Hey everyone, today's video is about a masterclass.
But a new kind of masterclass.
A mini masterclass, and guess who attended today? We gonna tell them?
I thought they were guessing.
A military macaw!
A military macaw-cockatoo.
She's trained me, and I realized, well, I gotta get serious about training because
I'm like, remember how you raised your son?
I'm playing this
That's what
level
I
of
need to be with
chess.
her.
It's like I'm like an infant's chess, and she's like a grandmaster. So I'm good for a couple moves, and then I'm toast. I lose.
Well, and you've got a pretty expert player.
Oh,
military macaws are
smart.
Dude, that's
so
all. We're
bad.
always going like, what, I mean, like, didn't we just give her everything she wanted? And she's like, not the way I wanted it. Body language is the #1 thing I struggle with. I just don't understand the macaws in general. We've never had one, so like I'm always like, I don't know if those are the feathers, not the feathers. The only thing I think I'm reading with her for sure is her eyes. I mean, when she is about to go off, her eyes really.
It's crazy eyes.
Yeah,
crazy
eyes.
eyes.
She gets them.
I had a girlfriend like that.
Oh my god.
We all know the crazy eyes.
It's the same set.
Is this Shiloh?
Yes.
Okay, I just found my notes on my console with it.
Oh, okay.
I was
cool.
like, which book are you in?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have that you were currently winging it on training.
Yeah, big time. Well, I realize now we probably might have been doing a little bit better. It's just not being able to read the bird. So we just had her, I mean, her weight, when she gets over like 830 grams, I'm realizing that now because I'm studying her weight and food and everything so much more.
Yeah.
This is really not a diet transformation for the bird, but more of a transformation for the owner.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot believe how I'm having to unravel. And I'm like, I got her addicted to nuts, like hiding them in her toys, because I thought, oh, you're going to love your cage, because you have to love it. So I hid nuts in her toys, and she foraged for them. Well, I had no idea, like, how much nuts I was giving her, you know, the weight. I had no idea. I just giving them to her. And then, so then she's like, you know, 850 grams, and she's like, she doesn't even care about the nuts outside of the cage now. You know, you're trying to train her, and she's like, yeah, whatever. And then she wants to interact with her, but she's kind of pissy, so my wife's like, no, no thanks. And then she gets an interaction with my wife and then bites me for it. And I'm like, what did I do? I let you have the interaction with her. You got nuts. I mean, what am I doing wrong? Like, is that what you wanted? But
that's awesome.
She's just so heavy and spun out on nuts, I imagine, that because she hasn't had nuts in, what, a month? Not a shelled nut in over a month. And she's only had a few pine nuts a day just for like the behaviors we really want to see. Like, I mean, I'm like giving her a little tiny speck. Yeah. Just so she gets something for like stepping off or on or something correctly when we watch that whole series.
Yep, so energy-wise, and that's the hardest thing with the military.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, his energy is...
I'm heightened just like her.
As you can see, he's very...
Yeah, Dave got it right away, but that's just a struggle point.
Well, welcome guys. We are doing a mini master class. These are a new format for us. So usually it's like a 3 to 4 hour boot camp, and there's way more people, and so we wanted to try to make it where like you could still learn from watching the other people, success and failures, usually the failures. But we wanted to like try this as something different. So yeah, welcome. I'm excited to have you guys here and
you guys are literally our first mini masterclass. So this is like our first weekend of trying them. So let us know what you think. Obviously, you guys probably haven't done a regular masterclass, so you don't have anything to compare to. But just imagine 2 more birds in the class, which means 4 more people, and double the time. So if that seems overwhelming as a concept, and you guys like the more intimate concept, let us know afterwards. I would love your feedback on what you guys liked and disliked of the class so that we can go forward and make these better and better for everybody. So don't be afraid to give us like positive and negative feedback on anything.
But mostly positive.
Yeah. But just no negatives.
We booked this class before we even had her.
Oh, that's
We've
awesome.
only had her for 30 days.
Oh my god.
So cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, and kind of cool, I had an online consultation with David already, so having a little bit of background on you guys is really neat. I don't know that we've really gone into master classes where I've had that background before, so I appreciate that you like reached out and wanted to get things going.
We wanted to be as dialed when we showed up. We don't want to have you regurgitate like old information that we could have done up to this point. We did everything we could.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No, that's cool. And sometimes you'll find too, like this is the way I feel about especially our family-friendly parrot formula course, is that you're only ready to learn the next, like we could tell you everything in one video, and you're only going to get the thing you need to know next.
Yeah.
And once you've done that, you go back and watch a video again, and you'll be like, oh, and now there's that? Okay, and that's kind of how I feel like a lot of our courses are. So you might hear us repeat certain things, but maybe we say it in a way that's a little bit different that resonates more today. So we'll do our best to find some solutions. But my personal goal for each of these classes is to help, like, if it's just like a general, I don't have an issue, let me help you with handling, cool. But if you have an issue with the bird, my goal is to get you one step closer to where you're going to feel like you have action plans to go home. On consults that I usually do online, it's like, hey, don't get overwhelmed by the amount of things you're going to hear that you have to do. We all have a list of things a mile long for all of our birds all the time. And the best advice I can give up front is just think like, okay, I'm looking for my top 3 next actions. That way you leave here with like planned, not feeling overwhelmed. Once you check off those 3, look at the rest of the list, but just don't be too overwhelmed because they're, it's like having an autistic, 3-year-old with wings for the rest of your life, right? So
we have an autistic son at home.
So you're going to learn, this is actually, so parents of autistic children pick up on this better because there's something to draw back to from like the operant conditioning side of things. And although we've not encountered that personally, and there's a huge void in my knowledge in that area, I have seen where that crossover really makes a huge difference. So yeah, I'm excited. I think you guys are going to probably walk away with more value because of that background.
Well,
Does she have a favorite person out of the 2 of you?
Oh, I've been more standoffish with her. I'm not a big bird person, so he is definitely the bird owner. We do interact better. It's gotten better. She'll let me step her up once in a while, and I can take her to the cage, but she doesn't always do, like, step off into the cage. And I'm real tentative with her because I watch her bite him, and I want nothing to do with it. And so I've had a hard time really fully doing all the things. So that's why he ends up doing all the things with her, because I am a little.
Did you say you have a hard time fully doing all things?
Yeah, so like taking her to her cage and bringing her out and stepping her up regularly. I don't do it as often as he does because I'm more tentative with her.
So. Does he ever get you out of situations? Like, do you ever start an interaction and you're like, oh my gosh, you want this,
take her.
Save me?
Yeah, take her. Yes.
Okay.
And if you had to say your main goals for today, what would they be?
I mean, obviously the body language. Just so I can understand her, I mean, maybe I read some stuff right, but I just don't know. I mean, I just don't understand macaws.
So something pretty unique about these guys is that they actually came incredibly prepared and had already done a ton of homework.
So the only thing that they had left was diet conversion, but they were still in the process because I actually had an online consultation with them before the class, which I think is a first in masterclass history for us, and now I'm a fan.
It's funny because I was going through the checklist of like, hey, let's check this, 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 and this, things I usually ask them at, and they had already done it all. So it was pretty exciting.
I was kind of patting myself on the back a little bit.
I didn't know she was bonded to me because, again, I don't know macaws, so I have no idea. She acted pissy all the time, and I'm like, I'm trying to give you everything you want. And then when she got her wings, she flew out the front door on a 45-degree night, 40-mile-an-hour wind gust, ended up down at the park and slept in a redwood tree.
Oh, like 100 foot up in the air at the tip of a redwood tree.
That was her first real flying experience.
Oh, I would have
But I'll tell you what, I almost got her back. She did descend down to me, but it was such a long descent, and she'd never done much descending. The first thing I taught her was descending, because you said so in one of your videos. First thing you do is when your bird starts flying, teach them to descend. So that was the first thing I taught her to do.
Yeah.
Well, she did it, but she got to 2 feet and flew over me. It was just, I think, too much time descending down. So she went back up and around, and then it was already dark, so she just crashed into a tree, and that was that. We let her sleep there for the night.
And how'd you get her back?
Took us 4 hours.
4 hours in the middle of the park with all her toys.
Brought her play stand down, her food bowls.
Was she still a baby?
This happened a week before you guys lost Blueberry. Your guys' terrifying 4-hour adventure, or what was it?
4 minutes.
This is what it's like, guys. You lose them all night long.
But it felt like 4 hours.
I'm like, of course the professionals lose it for 4 minutes. The rest of us lose them all night long.
It did shave a few years off Jamie's life.
For 4 minutes?
Yeah. The only thing that made it tolerable for me was I watched Mia and Mikey lose their bird to the park. And so it made me realize that it happens and you can get them back.
I'd love to just see like how you do a step up and a step down, what that looks like.
Okay. So you look at me, man, I have 500 nuts. I'm bad.
It's all good.
I'm not judging yet.
Oh, nuts.
Well, that looked awesome.
Yep, okay, solved.
I'm trainer.
Well done.
Alright, cool.
She's like, yeah, cool.
I'll show you guys how I did that.
Do you feel confident with it? I don't want to put you in a spot where you'll get nailed, but...
I think right now, maybe she might because we're in
Okay.
a different situation. I'll try it.
So I'm going to pause everybody for a sec. You're going to notice I'm bringing my tone down a little bit. When we were all like laughing and having fun, she got heightened.
Yeah.
So you really want to watch for all that.
Okay.
So just kind of like, you said you watched the Sven and AJ series?
Yeah.
So really think through, like for him, it was like, read the note on your cage, it says scuba dive. And like, picture yourself in a scuba dive for 10 seconds before you touch that bird. And already you can see like the body language change back. Now I would feel, like if you feel confident, then go for it. Sweet.
So that interaction was a little bit more confusing.
It
Versus
felt
you were very
confusing for me.
intentional. You knew exactly that you were having her step up, and then you knew exactly you were having her step down. And that's what he communicated. You hadn't thought through what that looked like for you. And so there was a moment of like uncertainty, and your energy got a little shaky.
And then so I would think of this as like clarity and crisp communication. Like nobody wants to watch an interpreter sign really sloppy. It'd be hard to read. And that's essentially what we're relaying to them is like we're giving crystal clear signs to the point of the FU feathers we reference a lot. Just like they're so micro, and she expects you to see those and deal with them. So from my interpretation of what they might imagine is like we're giving all these like sirens and bells and whistles, and if we're not really consistent and clear on our language for each cue and our intentions, then I think that's where it like translates into like, hey, why haven't we figured this out yet? And as birds get older, there's less and less patience that they'll give you for those mistakes. When they're 18 weeks old, they don't care. When they're 18 years old, you better have it figured out. So, but I think that like overall, I have just a couple minor things. Is he okay with strangers or?
I was just going
or
to
she?
ask.
Sorry.
Well, we haven't had a lot of strangers in the house interacting with her, but I would say she seems to be more open towards males.
Okay. Can I try something with her?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna grab a treat. And so I always like to start when it's an option with something that she knows. Hey, which one do you want? That one. And the reason that I start with targeting or a trick that she already knows is so that now she's like, you speak my language. So she'll know that there is a formal training session or be a little bit more open to it. You want more? Would you like to step up? Is it my hat? Try again? No.
It's okay.
Okay. So her hesitation was her saying no. So in a permission-based training, it's like, do you want to step up? No. Right? And I'm even showing her the treats. I almost stopped it, and then she actually didn't even bite. She was giving me a warning.
I was going to say, did that hurt?
No, it was just like not even a mark, thankfully. But and it was probably a fraction before she did that. I was almost going to pull back and say like, okay, she was clear she didn't want it. So I'm not gonna. I don't want to end like that with her for me. So let me try this. Hey, will you come here? We'll do that. Good girl. That hasn't happened to me in a long time. Your turn.
Ha! Yeah. Can't wait.
Like she definitely communicated that she's like, no, I don't want to. But it was.
But that was a crazy escalation.
It went, yeah. But go ahead and do a step up. I'm going to click. Don't treat there. I want you to then put him back or put her back down, and I'll click when she goes down, and I'll have you treat there.
Okay.
So only you're gonna hear 2 clicks. She's only gonna get 1 treat, and it's on the step down.
Okay. Sure. Whoops.
Perfect. So that's what we would refer to as an FR2. It's a little bit more advanced training technique for a bird specifically that already knows a behavior. So at this point, I was kind of frustrated that the bird, I don't want to quite say bit me, but it definitely latched its beak around my finger. It didn't apply pressure, but I'm feeling frustrated because I want to make progress. When it hit me, this bird is just constantly too heightened. And a lot of that has to do with the owner, but a lot of it's just the natural disposition of Shiloh. So, in military macaws in general. And so I really wanted to try to capture something that was a calm behavior on cue. So while there were 2 different birds in the room, I kept getting distracted and kept working with Shiloh.
Which made it really hard for me to capture the footage accurately, but I did get a few of your moments in your sessions with her, so I want you guys to enjoy the next footage showing just how quickly she learned.
It was probably within 5 minutes of actual training, so pretty fast. Well, I see like a sweet disposition.
She does.
She really is sweet.
Hidden within her.
Yeah.
Really,
Hidden.
it's like 20% of the time she's really awesome.
20%.
And then 80%.
It was lower on our console.
It's coming up a little bit.
Yeah.
She does.
Can you remember what to do?
I don't see her. How old is that?
No, I was clicking for a totally different behavior, for a different reason for the same behavior, right? But like this would be great to just, if you're sitting and watching TV, let me be specific, a calm TV show, right? You're watching fish swim, not Jaws, but like to take, and you just even there, like our laughter, and she's like, oh, what, right? But like you can get calm on cue.
She's turning.
I know. We're teaching her to count right now. We can tell her to turn a certain amount of times, and she'll count it out herself.
Yeah. She actually knows quite a few.
So she's begging to do more with me,
behaviors.
right? So
She's good.
I don't know if I'm gonna get
Tell her
it.
big wings.
I'm gonna try again. Well, that doesn't.
Or you give it to her.
Well, I was trying to de-escalate the situation.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told him on the
I don't see you guys witness my height, there it was. That was really low though.
I know that was a calm to them for him. I'm like,
Will you?
What's that?
Gosh, what is happening? See how she all of a sudden got more heightened? We have another bird in the play.
yeah.
You just did. Ta-da!
Oh, she
I
did
want it to
it.
be organic.
You should just give her the treat for it, man. That was awesome.
I know. She offered it.
Yeah.
She offered it, and I
Missed it.
didn't quite get to click. Yeah, so now what I would do is keep your cue, your visual cue, but change the vocal to where it's like, ta-da, and like bring everything way down.
That's why I told him whisper.
Yeah, we haven't been doing it. That's the first time I've done it in a long time.
Just when my face was right by her.
No, they just want
We have bets to see
They
who's
just
gonna
want you
get
to see your
stitches
trick.
first.
So, okay, I'm going to offer the step up, and she might offer a shake head no instead.
It's okay. It's okay.
See? So she offered it in replacement of stepping up. So now if I offered step up and she gives me the no, it could turn into me accidentally reinforcing and getting rid of the step up. Not that I ever had it, but you have to be careful of what the accidental reinforcement is. So see, she's offering all sorts of things because there it is.
Nice.
So yeah, now you just add a cue and you're good.
You
Yeah,
happy?
she's smart.
Yeah, she learns a lot of stuff.
her tricks so quick, it's crazy.
She knows her left from her right foot. I'm teaching her left and right wings, one at a time.
Wow.
She knows
Just
with a wing.
peekaboo.
Yeah.
She taught herself. She taught us that trick.
Yeah.
Peekaboo.
Wow.
Will you give it
Yeah.
up, man? Now she can tell you no.
Yeah, she did. See? Dang it. That's pretty cute. The fluffy no.
Yeah.
It's a fluffy no. Very fluffy.
You need a shock collar for this.
That's what I am. That's this. You'll see me constantly. I feel bad. I'm like, that's a bad life up here smacking my husband.
I should have researched and got the mellowest Macaw for sure. I had no idea.
All right. I think, so my observations, at least, so I'll focus on Shiloh first. I think her body language is super clear. I think where it gets muddy is when your energy is too high. Or the energy of the room, or her energy, right? But when she's mellow, obviously she's easier to read. When she's heightened, there's so much body language being thrown at us at once that it's just really hard. So my summary would be really like looking back at the Sven and AJ video, make some sort of mental note that you can do that brings your energy down, because she's naturally high energy, right? Mm-hmm. Are you high energy? Mm-hmm. Are you? No? And then focus on tricks that are like calm. And really like, I mean, to train her that in 5 minutes is starting to have her associate me with calm energy as well. Mm-hmm. So if my goal, which it is, to get her to step up, I don't want to do things that are dancing, right. The heightened wings, you know, those types of things. So that's my overall observation. But I think that you are both reading her pretty well. I think that you're just operating in full octane instead of like, you know, instead of this ethanol stuff.
What in the world?
You got it.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I agree. I think for me, I got to calm down. I mean, bottom line, I realize that now. It's been a struggle this last month. I mean, I've been telling her, I wonder if I should tape back up. I feel like I'm, you know, getting too vocal with her again, and because I just kind of lose track that I have to calm. I have to be something I'm not.
No,
like, I have to.
Well, and it's exciting and fun, so I think
Yeah.
you're reinforced by it just as much as she is.
Yeah.
He is.
You know, treat it like a
He's like a little kid with her.
Yeah.
So.
a training session should be like the gym. You don't just like, you don't go to the gym in your work suit. You know, you go to the gym when you've prepared for it. You put on the right shoes, you put on the right clothing, the right underwear, and then you're ready for it. And you're going to meet that opportunity at the right energy level to have success. Mm-hmm. And I think bird training should be the same. When, you know, if you're going to interact with her, just take that moment of like, okay, am I ready? Right. Am I set up for success? Or am I wearing a suit and tie? You know, going back to the gym analogy, like, well, then let me go change. Okay, cool. And what'll probably happen if you do it properly, or do it enough, is that she will be your cue for calm. And you'll meet her, you'll run into the room and be like, oh, cool. And like, you'll zen out a little bit, right? So just be prepared, like really set yourself up for success with each training session. And again, every interaction is a training session. So just really think through all the things you need to do to make it go in your favor.
And keep doing your diet conversion.
Yes,
Yes.
we are. We're battling
And I
through
need
it.
to still keep working with
Yeah.
her. And like you were just saying, set up for success. Think through what I'm going to do with her. And there are times I do that, and it works out really well. I'll target her first, then I'll step her up and step her off. And it works well. But when I'm not thinking through it, then it doesn't. You know? And I get off, so then she's off.
Yeah. Your training sessions specifically for you might be like, okay, I'm going to do 3 reps. My goal is 3 reps of step up, click, down for the treat. Mm-hmm. Step up, click, down for the treat. And do that 3 times. Mm-hmm. Cool. Then that was a success. That was a win. And what that does is if 100% of your training sessions were perfect because you only did 3 reps, you're going to be perfect in your bird's eyes.
Mm-hmm. And David's handling is like the best. So I hope you guys are watching that. And just there was a few seconds ago when she was like leaning, and he felt where she was leaning. He was completely dialed into whatever Dave was saying, And at the same time, he felt where she was leaning and let her go face first onto the couch and like be there. And then when she was discontent there, he offered his hand. But like the handling has been beautiful. So please watch that and realize that you need to do that with her. When you feel that she's discontent, like figure out the source and figure out how to like get out of that situation. And she will look to you
change
more.
the situation, right? So right now what I'm doing is because I realize I might have been a factor in that. Now I have her attention. I'm gonna lean in for a no.
The fluffiest of no's.
Right? And so the reason she might have been like annoyed with me is I was too close. So she might have been flying to David. One, she likes him more than me, but two, I was probably too close. So I'm gonna help change that scenario, and then I'm gonna back up. So, you know, there's if you look at it from a blueprint, I've started to call it like top-down training, and this goes back to my story with JINX. JINX loves being pet, he hates being pet. Well, the difference is if you zoom out, you're looking above and you zoom out, he hates it because there's other people around, right? If you keep zooming out, what else are you gonna see? And oftentimes when we're training birds, we're so focused in, we think it's just the two of us, that we forget that a third bird entered the room, right? Or that I was too close, or there's other factors that play. So if you can just pause and picture, like, you know, look from the top down, what other factors could be impacting this scenario and change it.
Lastly, we just want to say a huge shout out to Heather at Crawling Critters. Thank you so much for hosting our masterclass this year and previous years. If you guys are interested in hosting a masterclass of ours, please contact us, info@birdtricks.com. And if you're interested in some quality edutainment from somebody who knows how to do best by animals of all sorts, contact Heather at Crawling Critters.